Hi, hello, and welcome back to Microwaves. Please stay away from them because they will infect you with autism, but that's okay because we can cure it with a $1,000 masterclass. And aloe vera. Who could have known a little alien discharge could be that powerful? Previously, I put my curious cargoes on and ventured deep into the deranged, evil creatures larping as Caring Mother's forest, and of course I flipped over a rock and found more. These cult conspiracy theorists are multiplying. What you're looking at is not a ripped Stranger Things reboot, but a terrifying mom named Healing with Hope. She's a mad scientist conducting experimental DIY hydra remedies on her kid to cure his autism. If you are new here, the rundown is quite simple. There's a big sphere of holistic moms with autistic kids, and they all seem to share the same psychopathic beliefs. 1. Autism is evil and taking over the world. Watch out, it's coming for our kids. Run. 2. Autism can be cured through detoxes, because according to them, something as simple as a smoothie can completely rid you of the autism parasite. 3. Autism isn't genetic, it's caused by environmental toxins, chronic illness, or injury. So for example, everyone in California, due to their exposure to the wildfires, has now been turned autistic. Those poor innocent souls. And finally, be a scam artist. Continuously pump out misinformation and claim you have the cure on every social media platform to ultimately sell a slimy masterclass. It's a colossal, exploitative, solo racing content machine that rewards neglect, and man, these people are hungry. I genuinely think they need to be locked away on Alcatraz, sent there on sinking sailboats to prevent overpopulation, but God forbid one of them survives with minimal injuries, because we all know what that causes. Ad break time. I forgot to do a segue. Are you stuck in a habit that's so baked into your brain that you don't even question it anymore? Like competitively downing 4 sugary sodas in one day? Yes, I may be speaking from personal experience. I've been there. I've been in there. Inside of the can. Could someone get me out of here? That's why I was excited to try Fume, the sponsor of today's video. No, it's not a vape, not a nicotine thing, not some tech-loaded Nick stick from Blade Runner that turns your lungs into an abstract art project. Fume is a simple, natural alternative for people looking to ditch a habit without replacing it with something as equally gross. There's no smoke, no vapor, no nicotine, just flavored air. And it's not chemical berry blast flavored either. They're real, natural flavors that actually taste good. My favorite's orange vanilla. It tastes like an orange creamsicle. But there are a ton of options, some citrusy, some sweet, some that taste like frolicking barefoot through a forest if that's your thing. Also, this thing is so fun to fidget with. Fume's got this magnetic core that clicks and spins like a high-tier fidget toy. I've turned into a traveling clicking menace. And Fume's perfect for just that because there's no charging or batteries, just pick it up and go. Look, breaking habits is hard, but having something better to reach for, that's the move. Fume doesn't just help you stop, it gives you something to start instead. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit change journey. If you're ready to try it for yourself, now's the time. For a limited time, if you ordered the journey pack using my code CYBERNOOP, you'll get yourself a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. It's like a fancy little hat for your new habit. Click the link tryfume.com/cybernoob or scan the QR code on screen to get yours today. Okay, back to the video. And when I criticize the holistic here, I'm not talking about your casual drinking tea for a sore throat kind of person. I mean the people who made this absolute conspiracy twisted mind web map of how ailments manifest. If you're unaware, this is the healing web, a tool popularized by their cult to assess illnesses and their causes, like how gender dysphoria is caused by vaccines and GMOs. You better watch out because those extra large strawberries are gonna turn you trans. Or maybe your vision is dog shit. Go ahead, take off those glasses for me because we can cure it with sun gazing. Yup. Looking straight into the smoldering sun. Don't look away. Unlike Mean Mom from my last video, who is only in the process of curing her son from autism, Healing with Hope has successfully done it. She has rid her son from this disease. Story time. My son was diagnosed in 2020 with nonverbal severe autism plus apraxia. Cool. So why is he not wearing a seatbelt and driving the car? Is this something that's involved in the autism healing process? Look at that swerve. Get him out of there. Now he's conversational and no longer on the spectrum, all because of natural methods, like crashing into other cars and murdering innocent civilians at the crosswalk. Those natural methods will not be bringing you back from this drunk driver, and I don't blame the kid. He probably still thinks people drive like this. Tiara is the mom behind the account, and she shares the exact same beliefs as Mean Mom, though her grimy marketing tactics are a lot more desperate, because of course she's selling a masterclass too. You'd have to be a fool to think otherwise. I wish more parents understood that natural interventions such as diet for autism and ADHD are effective, she says, stirring her bubbling witch's brew. These autism moms are salesmen. They're quite good at pulling you in with agreeable points just before dropping an insane atom bomb. It's their favorite manipulation tactic. I was reluctant at first too, but it changed everything for my child, who was once nonverbal and severe, and is now conversational and thriving. You see, that's not how it works. She posts everywhere, but her following is much larger on Instagram. Parent Coach, transform your child's symptoms. Help for parents with autism, ADHD, and PANS. Hundreds of success stories. And she's not lying. Her marketing may seem pathetic, but she's absolutely raking in money from these shitty-ass books and coaching. The best gift you can buy your autistic ADHD child this year. The gift of health. Instead of buying another electronic toy that keeps them trapped in their symptoms, invest in changing their lives by improving their health. I developed a strategy for you to follow. This year, choose the gift of health. Toys for Christmas? How neglectful and scandalously unoriginal. Why not aim higher and bless your child with the self-esteem shattering delight of a book promising to cure their autism? I'm sure they'd love to wake up in the morning and see a book on the floor telling them they're inherently flawed and fundamentally broken. That's the holiday spirit. Blaming electronic toys for keeping kids trapped in their symptoms is peak laziness. They're just toys. They're not magical hexes. There's a galaxy of difference between gifting your kid a whimsical cat piano and whatever this is. Those are not the same. For posts, I'll follow the same template of, your kid has autism? That's rough. Do you want to buy my book? I have a book for you. Do you want to like buy something right now? Just a little something affordable. I know this is going to sound crazy, but have you ever heard of a book before? I can show you. Mean Mom kept her son mostly out of view, but Sierra is in full PR mode. She loves puppeteering her children as guilt-inducing props to shame parents into doing more. Stimming, headbanging, eating crayons, nonverbal 16-year-olds. These are not normal autism symptoms. They are. They're being exaggerated, of course, for the sake of selling your son, but they are. Autism is a spectrum. It's not some tidy little white box that we all fit into. It's a sprawling technicolor range of behaviors and developmental differences, so her slapping the label not normal on it is reductive. Instead of stigmatizing autistic people and their experiences, maybe we could try, I don't know, understanding and supporting them. Just a thought. Autism is medical, not neuropsychological. I recovered my nonverbal autistic son and freed him from these debilitating symptoms. Why is it that every self-proclaimed autism healer thinks they're the freedom fighter of neurology? You are not the oppressed anti-hero saving the day. This whole thing belongs in a subpar true crime docuseries. Autism is lifelong. It's not a disease. It's a neurodevelopmental condition. We need to stop letting experts tell us that these symptoms in our children are normal and lifelong. Oh, are you the expert? A scientist, perhaps? Last I checked, actual experts, people with degrees and entire careers dedicated to understanding autism exist, yet, for some reason, unemployed influencers using their kids as bait for their pyramid scheme, business, are qualified. When really, this is your child's body's cries for help, and they should not be ignored with behavioral therapy. She frames it as a tragedy rather than just another natural variation of human neurodiversity. Is your son screaming himself to sleep every night going, "Someone help me, I'm trapped in this neurodivergent form"? Apparently their bodies are crying for help, but the solution is to ignore experts and instead listen to Healing with Hope, the Instagram oracle. I'd cry louder. It's pure fear-mongering wrapped in pseudo-profound nonsense. Autistic kids aren't crying out for help, they're crying for understanding, maybe, and someone who doesn't summon an ambulance over stimming. Hello? 911? Please send someone fast. What's the emergency? He's walking on his tiptoes. Alright, we're sending a euthanasia team. You need to hurry, he's talking about trains. Sometimes I feel like society is trying to destroy our children. 1 in 20 have autism. Millions have ADHD and other chronic conditions. Autism is not a sign of societal collapse. Did society personally hand your child autism? Was there some sort of transmittable update I missed? Because if so, I have awful news for everyone watching this. Our children are injected with poison and are being strangled with toxins. Then we are told that they have a diagnosis and that therapy is the only answer. Vaccines save lives and therapy is in some sort of medieval punishment. By all means, if you're nostalgic for the Black Plague, go ahead, skip the vaccines, but don't drag anyone else into your historical reenactment. Your son already has the autism death sentence. Are you trying to speed up the process? I helped my son go from nonverbal debilitating autism to no longer suffering with symptoms and conversational. Comment ready to learn more. Ready for pseudoscience. Accepting it lets go of the personal responsibility. So very true. I believe the parents are responsible for most of it, but society can't handle the truth. You are speaking the truth. Parents aren't sprinkling autism dust on their kids like magical little fairies. You guys need serious help and therapy. Please stop emotionally waterboarding yourselves. Nonverbal equals gut dysfunction, vitamin plus mineral deficiencies. Nonverbal communication isn't a malfunction, and it's also not medical. You can't treat it with a multivitamin. 3 underlying medical issues contributing to your child's sensory processing disorder and meltdowns/tantrums. Environmental toxins and heavy metals, gut imbalances. Okay, picky eating is not a normal part of autism. There are underlying medical causes making your child eat one thing. Gut imbalances, heavy metals, and toxins. Over and over again, each post using this stupid interaction bait so that she can push people her products. She recycles the same material, endlessly trying to reel in helpless parents, all using pictures of her son that's been cured from autism. It's relentless exploitation. Even the text is the same on most of these posts. There's a small slice of varying filler towards the top, and then the rest is just copy and paste regurgitated garbage shilling for her book. By the end of 2 years, he no longer exhibited the symptoms that previously classified him as autistic. Ugly, silly-ass emojis. That's why I developed the mini ebook starter pack, which contains the strategies I utilize to assist my son in flourishing. It will guide you step by step on how to start this process, ensuring you are set up for success and can see improvements for your child. Please get a job, I beg. There's an endless supply of misinformation she spreads, but for the sake of time, I prepared for us a little variety sampler. That includes her usuals.
3 common myths that parents believe about autism that is not true. 1, that it is a neuropsychological disorder that your child was born with. It is actually environmental factors that will ultimately lead to the autistic-like symptoms coming about for your child.
Autism is something you're born with. It's not something that's caused by air pollution, your Wi-Fi, or whatever toxin of the week she's blaming next.
Myth number 2, autism cannot be reversed and it cannot be recovered from. That is not true. There are many things that you can do to holistically heal your child, completely reverse the diagnosis entirely.
You can't reverse autism. If we're bringing back barbaric mental thought processes, mind if I lobotomize you? You just seem really stressed out, and I feel like you could need it. You need it. I think it would be useful.
Myth number 3, autism is a behavioral type disorder that affects your personality and your way of thinking. Not true as well.
It absolutely affects how someone thinks and interacts. That's like the whole thing. If these people spent a fragment of the time they've spent conspiracy diving on Reddit actually understanding what autism is, they'd be able to tell you how it affects a person. If it doesn't affect how someone thinks and interacts, what does it do then? Make me fly? Grow limbs uncontrollably? Could I start flying right now? If a child can regress into autism, they can progress out of autism. So true, my glorious queen. What is that? Is that pee? Did you pee on him? What's in there, an electrical wire? This treatment is never discussed again, by the way. Thought I should put that out there in case you're interested in recovery, as I am. Autism is 1 in 30 and climbing. By 2025, the rate of autism is projected to be 1 in 2. I was unaware of this autism apocalypse. Is it gonna be like The Walking Dead or like The Last of Us? I don't really care either way. I'm gonna turn you into one of me. No one said this. Autism isn't suddenly climbing, trying to set a new world record. We're diagnosing it more effectively because we've learned to better recognize it, not because it's taking over the population. Your microwave is causing irreversible damage to your autistic child's brain. Disrupts nervous system regulation. EMFs can interfere with the brain's electrical activity and nervous system functioning. So the idea here is that EMFs from something as benign as your kitchen microwave are somehow morphing into minuscule malicious overlords conspiring and targeting autistic kids. It's like blaming your home air fryer for global warming. You single-handedly are responsible for melting the polar ice caps. After looking through her post, it seems that the microwave is her biggest villain. What really leads to an autism diagnosis in 2025? I wish every parent knew this because they could help their child's symptoms. The microwave. They can't do that. They don't have the energy to scramble your DNA or rewire your brain, let alone cause autism. Other things that cause autism are iPads because they're sorcerers casting neurological spells, junk food, vaccines, mold, medicine, and cooking with metal pans. Unless you're sauteing with a lead skillet from the 1800s, your pots and pans are innocent. None of these things can actively rewrite your genetic code. You can't become autistic because of these. I don't know about you, but I have an abysmal diet. I survive off of 1 bag of Cheez-Its and a thimble of water, and you know what that gives me? A headache, not autism. All the foods and drinks worsening your autistic ADHD child's symptoms. And it's every food in the world. Fantastic. I feel like it's common knowledge not to force feed heaps of sugar down your kid's throat because it'll give them a temporary burst of energy, but it won't change and morph their brain into a new neuropathological category. Kid are hyper. Give kid sugar equal more hyper, regardless of whether they're autistic or not. Me wondering why chicken nuggets have 1,000 ingredients, soybean oil, cornstarch, and food dyes loaded with inflammation neurotoxins. 1,000 ingredients? Where are you getting your food from? I know this is an over-exaggeration, but she's so dense and habitually twists facts to fit her narrative because she's a dogmatist conspiracy theorist. I bet she sits there and willfully misinterprets the labels. Oh man, this one sounds ambiguous. We have soybean oil and paprika? Oh my god, it must be a fucking neurotoxin. Yeah, there's a lot of additives and overused things in processed foods, but they're not actively plotting on your demise. Sitting on your ass scrolling TikTok for a few hours is likely just as harmful. Toxic products I would never use for my autism ADHD child. So like every product of all time ever. Great, and how are they toxic? Am I just meant to blindly believe your fear-mongering? And are they only toxic to autistic people, or is it everyone? When you have been called crazy for over 3 years, when you inform others that autism is not in fact genetic, yet you have healed your son from... Sorry, I can't really focus. There seems to be so insanely talented breakdancing on the screen. I mean, if being healed from autism will make me dance like that, someone sign me up. So we know he's healed from autism, but how did she accomplish this? Because I'm eager to find out. I need to get on his level and off of level 1. From what I can see on her account, she cured her son through red light therapy, cruel and unusual science experiments, and smoothies. Who would have guessed the whole time the secret was in the blender? I guess this whole time I've been on the wrong one. Did you know that there are natural herbals and remedies that can help remove heavy metals from your autistic ADHD child's brain? Detoxing can help them to improve. Comment herbal for my herbal guide. Barbell! As previously seen with Mean Mom and her autism healing magical baths, we have detoxing your kid from heavy metals. These nefarious metals can infiltrate your child's system just by touching them. Say you want to pick up a fork, absorbed through the skin. Oh, you're cooking with something? Guess what? Straight into the food. This is why eliminating cooking with metal is absolutely necessary. Metal is the killer, the silent assassin. It is the autism spreader. It goes in the skin and straight to the brain. Stop! The best way to detox your autistic child from heavy metals. Juicing! Comment juice for my kid's juicing guide below. Chucking! She has a lot of faith in these smoothies. She's obsessed with them, but to be fair, if they cured my son's terminal illness, I would be too. They healed her son's brain inflammation and debilitating autism symptoms. She did detoxes. She's obsessed. They're pulling heavy metals out of your autistic children's brains. Don't forget the inflammation. It's everywhere. But there's smoothies. So many smoothies. Don't forget about the smoothies. The smoothies can literally change the brain chemistry of your child. Holy shit, this is a scientific miracle. And child abuse. Now, the smoothies and juices are really what's healing him, it seems, but I don't know, because she keeps mixing up the facts, so I'm not really sure. Did you know that there are smoothies that can help decrease your autistic child's brain inflammation? They can also pull out heavy metals. I totally believe you. Tell me more. I started giving my autistic son smoothies every day, and within 90 days, he became verbal for the very first time in his life. Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea smoothies were capable of such things. Oh look, a video on processed foods. 4 years ago, I stopped feeding my autistic son processed foods. Within 60 days, he became verbal for the first time in his 4 years of life. But I thought, the smoothie... This information doesn't match up, but it's fine. Maybe she got confused. Experts do that all the time. Let's just focus on the fact that her son is now cured by eating a diet entirely free from processed foods. How my recovered autistic son eats 88 grams of protein when we are out at In-N-Out. Notorious for their fresh, locally grown food. And it's just 6 beef slabs in a box. Yes, I'm sure your son is definitely recovered from autism. I see no notable traits. Everybody says they would die for their kids, but would you do whatever it takes to help them if they are sick? Do whatever it takes to recover them from autism. I never gave up. Now my son has reversed autism. What a weird sales pitch. Comment ready to learn more. This isn't a recovery, it's a rebranding of pseudoscience wrapped in guilt-tripping tactics. She's burning money for fun. This doesn't do anything. This is manipulative, emotional blackmail. Of course, parents want the best for their kids, but that doesn't mean roasting them under a heat lamp like a lizard. Red light therapy doesn't cure autism or even slightly alter its core characteristics. How I recovered my son from nonverbal autism. I wonder if this is how his bedroom looks too. You're gonna put this kid in psychosis. He's gonna think he's a failed Hydra experiment. Hey, I'm so glad you guys came over. Yeah, your house looks a little weird. This is your room? Yeah. Don't step on those test tubes, please. Okay, it's a little dark in here. I'm gonna turn on a light. No! Oh, is this the wrong one? My power, it's dimming. I can feel myself getting weaker. Are you okay? The autism, it's melting away. There's more? How often are you doing this to him? He is my miracle. No, he is your captive, maybe. 2020 diagnosed with autism and was nonverbal. 2025, no longer dealing with symptoms. Your son still has autism and he still has symptoms. Stop manipulating truths and facts and giving people false hope. That red light isn't curing anything. Look, watch this. So let me tell you a little bit about Chernobyl and the rise and fall of the Soviet. My wake-up call came in 2020 when I was losing my son to autism. 5 years ago, I was about to throw in the towel. I was depleted and entirely defeated. But then I discovered natural methods, and it turned everything around for my son and changed our lives forever. I disagree. I feel like there's nothing natural happening about these dystopian treatments happening here. Or here, with the iconic detox foot baths for autism. What is that? What are you talking about? And what is that device? Is it a bomb? Will it detonate in 30 seconds if his autism isn't cured? I feel like half the situations she has him in are just scrapped Danganronpa executions. I'm going to keep posting these videos until 40 million parents are aware that natural interventions exist for autism. And we're shooting air into his ear to make him go deaf. Wonderful idea. Someone said this is called ozone therapy. I'm not sure about that, but I don't see how blowing your kid's eardrum out will cure his autism. I am so glad to have you guys here today for our new experimental treatment. We are so excited. Say you're excited. I am so excited. Alright, I'm just gonna pump some air into your IV here. What? It'll be fine, trust me. This is a natural, common treatment for your kind. Wow, wouldn't you look at that? Instant results. Oh my god, he's not stimming anymore. He's not talking. He's not really doing anything, really. Yup, the autism's been eradicated. Oh, 1 second. My boss is calling me. I have to take this. So now that he's cured, there's what I like to call her victory posts, which all look exactly the same. Autism tried stealing my son's life, but we fought back and we won. POV, 4 years ago, you start using natural methods for your autistic son and don't know why you didn't start sooner because he loses his diagnosis and sticks his feet in a bin of pee. But that part's just for fun. Just a little splash. But how could we be alleviated from this harmful disease? How could we be more like her son? It's review time. Yay! I'm so excited. It's time to dive into the Healing with Hope final boss, her guide. I'm going to be cured. Don't accept autism. ADHD, pandas, asthma, allergies, eczema, tantrums, and unhealthy plus unhappy children. It's good to see she's branching out and being delusional in new ways. Your children can heal and they can thrive. Oh, they can thrive? Well, surely they're not autistic because everyone knows there's no possible way someone with autism could thrive. Just released my Roadmap to Recovery ebook for chronic childhood conditions. I do indeed need that, so let's take a trip to her store. Start here, the ultimate package, everything you need. Perfect. Wow, such a reasonably low price for any struggling mother. Originally $1,000, but right now you can get it for only $647. It seems like a lot, but look at all of those 5-star reviews. Surely those are real. She even offers new payment plan options, so if you're a financially struggling parent, you can struggle while reading her guide. Very inclusive. Yay! So excited. I am both of those options. Everything in her shop is super expensive. These prices are ridiculous. As for her other books, it's nothing special. You could Google everything here. Thankfully, she has a free starter guide that I went ahead and read. I've been learning so many new things. It even includes a free magical goop recipe. The journey begins. Such an earnest title from someone so evil. Personally, I feel like she should have named this Autism Survival Guide, Surviving the Apocalypse. Starting off strong with a disclaimer page. This ebook is intended to be a guide and should not be taken as medical advice. And right below that, we get Healing with Hope does not claim that its advice will cure or treat any specific health issues. Oh, really? Because on her social media, she's practically guaranteeing that her holistic methods will cure autism, heal anxiety, banish asthma, among many, many other things. This disclaimer directly contradicts everything she posts. She's saying don't take this as medical advice, but then spends every waking moment on TikTok screaming, follow my advice. It's guaranteed to work. In this very same PDF, she goes on to claim that her advice can treat autism, asthma, and anxiety like it's some kind of magical rock. She has it. This whole time, we should have known. She's been keeping the Philosopher's Stone to herself and profiting off of it. Autism mom community, get her at once! Of course the disclaimer has to be there because without it she'd probably be drowning in lawsuits. This guide is as long-winded and circular as her Instagram posts, but don't worry because I've gone through and pulled out my favorite highlights and called Arkham Asylum. Hey friend, absolutely not, you villain. Over the years, I've poured my heart and soul into learning how to improve my son's autistic symptoms. Also known as, I've spent longer forcing him to mask his true self for my own comfort and image rather than learning to love him for who he is. Something I've realized is that these holistic moms tend to ignore autism as a diagnosis and instead say autistic symptoms. Because their children aren't autistic, no, they just experience autistic symptoms which can be cured with the power of a fucking smoothie. This is my story. Our journey started in 2020 when my son was diagnosed with autism at 3.5 years old. Now I want you to remember his age during all of this. He was 3. The diagnosis came with a list of challenges and then goes on to list some undeniably real challenges that autistic people and their families might face. She has a real talent for stating the obvious. Her strategy is to hit you with the most universally agreed upon facts first, just to make herself seem trustworthy, and then when your guard is down, sneak in the pseudoscience Trojan horse and hope you're too distracted to notice the leap from valid challenge to autism EMF waves are coming for us. He also suffered from tics, severe eczema, a constantly runny nose. So dramatic. Suffering from a runny nose is crazy. It just kept leaking. I was scared he was going to drown the whole city. When we received the diagnosis, we were heartbroken. We were told that the best we could hope for was to improve his quality of life with therapies like ABA, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. It felt like the future we had envisioned for him was slipping away. Yup, that's what you're supposed to do. Were you expecting a surgeon to go in there and rip the autism out? I knew I had to do something. That fear sparked a determination in me, and I dove headfirst into researching how I could help my son. Feeling helpless is inevitable, but the problem is when instead of diving headfirst into understanding how to help him thrive as he is, she treats his future like a personal vision board for her to paste her unrealistic expectations onto. And sure, I think she started with good intentions. At least I hope she did. But her so-called methods aren't helping. Not only are they failing miserably, but they're causing some real harm. And the constant exploitation, that's not just going to haunt him in the future, but every gullible, overwhelmed parent that falls into her counterproductive pseudoscience Saul trap circus. What started as fear began to transform into hope. I immediately began to apply these new methods. Oh, okay, so that's what we researched. Instead of looking at approaches to understanding and managing autism, we immediately jumped to burn the tiptoeing witch. She's perpetuating the harmful idea that autism is inherently negative and must be fixed. She's fear farming. She sets up an emotional hook and frames herself as someone who found hope. It makes her pseudoscientific methods seem like a solution to parental anxiety, even if those methods make zero sense and have all the credibility of a fucking fortune cookie. Restrictive diets, detox therapies, unregulated supplements have been debunked. They are harmful. I immediately began to apply these new methods, although it took time to find what really worked for our son, but once we did, the change was undeniable. I'm so sure it was. There's not a doubt in my mind, honestly. The language is so vague. She relies so heavily on emotional appeal rather than evidence. It's so emotionally and financially exploitative. What are the these new mysterious methods? Are they evidence-based? Why are they not explicitly described in this section? Slowly but surely, he began to transform before our eyes. Every day, every week, every month brought new progress. Why are you fueling false hope? The promise or imply that dramatic, almost miraculous changes in a kid's development is achievable if parents follow a specific method creates unrealistic expectations. Every autistic person is different with their own strengths and needs. What works for one person may not work for another. It's not a one-size-fits-all preset. Dog, you're a scam artist. Skill development, sure, that's achievable, but transformation, that suggests a complete departure from being autistic, which I know she claims she's done successfully, but I'm afraid that's biologically impossible. The implication that a successful outcome is making an autistic child less autistic is crazy ableist. She's saying that we should devalue autistic people because they're defective. This book shifts focus away from what actually benefits autistic people. She should be teaching parents how to help their kids thrive as they are, not pressure them to fix the problem so that they'll fit into a neurotypical mold, but that doesn't sell books, does it? He began to speak, use the bathroom, follow complex instructions, and so much more. It truly felt like a miracle. Developmental milestones. This is the hill holistic moms love to die on. They hyper-focus on these milestones, which many children, autistic ones included, hit naturally between the ages of 3 to 8. It's almost like it's some kind of biological process. Now remember, her son was 3, a toddler, and yet she's crediting every inch of progress to her holistic methods without even acknowledging that developmental progress would have happened anyway regardless of her pseudoscience interventions. His natural development isn't thanks to sending him under a red light or force-feeding him chug jugs. Slathering your kid in lavender oil won't magically make them start talking, but speech therapy will though. Also, quick important mention, I found the original post of her talking about her son's diagnosis. After seeing the neurologist today, Andy has been diagnosed with mild autism spectrum disorder. We are certain he has apraxia of speech, and the neurologist believes he checks a few boxes for autism. She wanted to give him this diagnosis so that our insurance will cover ABA therapy because she believes he will benefit from it. This is a broad diagnosis in order to help him. Lots of people think Andy is in a gray area because he is so mildly autistic that lots of doctors and psychologists would most likely say that he isn't actually. Aside from the long list of issues here, her son was diagnosed with mild autism spectrum disorder. Yet throughout this guide, she spins it into one of the most extreme cases known to mankind for maximum effect. It's deliberate and misleading. She mentions driving to Dallas 3 times a week so that her son could receive speech therapy, and yet when he talked, it was shout out to the smoothies. By age 3, a lot of kids, autistic or not, have limited speech and are still figuring out the whole life skills thing. Rapid progress over the next few years isn't divine intervention or proof of your detox footbath's efficacy, but no, according to her narrative, an autism diagnosis means you're forever frozen in time, mentally tethered to the day of diagnosis. 4 years later, our son is 8 years old, fully conversational and free from the debilitating symptoms. Debilitating symptoms. I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but this is a perfect example of her spreading the notion that autism is a plague-like defect to be eliminated rather than a difference to be supported. It's so dramatic. These so-called debilitating symptoms were probably made worse by her refusal to accommodate his actual needs, seeing as she was too busy trying to cure him. That once held him back from what? Lining up trains on the floor? He was 3. I'm loving the creative writing, but let's lose the emotional manipulation. These holistic ways really seem to be working miracles because somehow her whole family's health has improved. Take her migraines, for example. Debilitating migraines. She really likes that word. They've vanished into thin air. Her husband's gut issues and bloating that plagued him for years have improved. Holistic health preaches a lot about cutting out dairy and gluten, so congratulations, he's probably just lactose intolerant. That's not divine intervention, it's dairy. My other son, airway condition and sleep apnea have significantly improved as well, or as the rest of us would call it, asthma. Are you trying to hit a word count? Naturally, I had to consult the infallible healing web to see what wonders they're working for asthma these days. And the answer is hypersensitivity management, also known as avoiding triggers. Groundbreaking how holistic health has somehow managed to rebrand common sense into cutting-edge treatment. Now I get it. Parents facing these conditions are desperate for solutions, but how anyone could swallow this glitter-covered oversimplification of a complex disorder without choking on a red flag is beyond me. It's one part pseudoscience, one part thesaurus abuse, and all parts worthy of child protection services. And she said her daughter had a misaligned eye thing. I forget the name of it, but your detoxing and diets did not cure that. The road has been long, and I've spent countless hours learning and researching all for my son. Researching how to damage him. Okay, now I've gone through the next few pages and wrote down the 3 steps that, when following, should cure my autism. 3 simple steps. 1, you have to believe. 2, no dairy and no gluten. 3, go outdoors. Yup, that's it. Let's go try it out. Dramatically, of course, because I'm trying to follow instructions here. For 19 years, I've been suffering from autism spectrum disorder, though to me it's not a disorder, it's a parasite. Every day I wake up and watch Chernobyl documentaries. It's destroying me. I can't even talk with my friends anymore because they all left. They said they didn't want to catch my disease, and that I talked about nuclear disasters too much. Did you know that? No, bad. Put it down. It's time that I live my life to the fullest. Step 1, believe. can be cured. I can be cured. I can be cured. Okay, done. What's next? Step 2, no dairy, no gluten. Already done. My ass explodes otherwise. Step 3, and finally, the last step. It's just going outside. Surely it doesn't matter if it's nighttime, right? I think I'm connecting with the tree. I think it's healing me. I think I'm still autistic. I'm gonna try and speed run the rest of this book because it's a big heap of mumbo jumbo. Here she's saying that toxin buildup or bad gut health causes picky eating and developmental delays. Blaming parents for their kids being autistic is so strange. Group therapy must go crazy for these kids. What are you in for? My mom only fed me lunch fleas and it turned me autistic. You? The microwave got me. Shit. You like FNAF? Yeah. So cool. Now there is hope and a future for my child. There was before, too. And skipping all the way to her ending note. In short, it's just, do you want to try a bunch of methods to help your autistic child and fail? Or give me money and I'll ensure you're set up for success and see improvements in your child. You know, how she doesn't claim her advice will cure or treat any specific health issues. I've made it my mission to help you achieve remarkable results for your child for the cost of $1,000. I apologize, I must have forgotten about the generous sale. Book over. Yay. Finally. Something worth mentioning is Sierra's past entrepreneurial escapades and her motives when it comes to social media. It has always been about profit. She is a lasered focus on making money, so of course it makes sense for her to capitalize off her son's fresh diagnosis. It was a business opportunity for her. On Instagram, she has 2 accounts, her main one, Healing with Hope, and a private one she shares with her husband, dedicated to digital marketing. It seems like this was their hustle before they hit the autism exploitation jackpot. The account is so outdated and abandoned that when I tried to check out their digital marketing course and click the link, it was dead. It's same as my heart, shattered into a million pieces. She claims to be a stay-at-home life coach and works 6 days a week, getting on Zoom, teaching, answering questions, coaching. She educates others about neurological disorders, diets, nutrition, and weight loss, all without a single credential to her name. So awesome. She said she was led into a life of coaching. Her business was helping other Christian women that desire to be successful entrepreneurs. She was making a good bit of money from it and advised to others, don't give up on your dreams because everyone around you tells you it's a pyramid scheme. Weird to not deny it. Her main business used to be a clothing line, which is now out of commission and was since replaced with Healing with Hope. To be fair, they are some of the most corny shirts I've ever seen in my life, so I understand why she would want to bury that bullet. Fatherhood, lead, love, protect. Tiny lives matter. Interesting stuff. For sure. Advocate, warrior, mother. Little boy, big blessing. Ridiculously good looking. On a toddler shirt, was Coco Melon not edgy enough for you? I feel like people who put their kids in this shit should be on a watch list. Was she even trying with these? I wish I could climb inside of her brain and hijack her to start this business up again because I just know the shirts now would be abysmal. This is a tough one. There's a lot of options here. Autism is bad. No. Someone stop those. No, the woke would cancel me. Neuro die virgin. Perfect. If you think for a second that she genuinely cares about helping families with autistic kids, you're brain dead, and every neuron has jumped off the ledge face first and left a splattered mess behind. This whole operation is a masterclass in multi-level manipulation, a marketing scheme preying on bewildered, vulnerable parents. Okay, well, Healing with Hope is evil, and her cure doesn't work. I'm still autistic, it seems. Sorry for disappearing off the face of the earth. I've been mega ultra depressed. Here's my Twitter if you want to go there. Here's my Instagram I don't really talk about. Thanks again to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to go check them out because I think they are very cool and epic. I'm gonna go drink a wide variety of smoothies because it's a drink, not a potion. Bye.